Hey everyone, Susanna here, and in this video I just wanted to go over what I've done here on my mural. This is my first time making a mural, and I just wanted to give you a few tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. At first I just started looking at a lot of videos on YouTube on how to paint, just to get inspirations from. When I Google organic painting, that's this style here. And actually I found a lot more if I Googled it in Portuguese, which is pintura orgânica is the name. I don't know if it's maybe not as popular here, but I did find a lot more when I Googled in Portuguese. But anyways, I started following some people that do this kind of painting for a living. And I was inspired by it. I didn't want to copy. I just wanted to mainly get ideas. So what I've done is I sketched, just a rough sketch of what I wanted, because this wall here is a very long wall. So at first I was gonna do the mural all the way to the other end, and I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you in more detail. But then I realized it was nice that I started in this corner, because once I got to here, I realized that that's all I wanted to do, is just above these cabinets that I have here, and then I have shelving that goes in here. And so I'm glad I didn't start on the other end, because I decided to just leave the other end just plain white. I painted all the walls in white, but I'll go over and just give you a few tips that I learned, and hopefully I can inspire you to make a mural, because it was a lot of fun, very enjoyable, even though it was a lot more work than I expected, but it was just awesome. It's funny how you start thinking of things and it just evolved as I started painting. I didn't quite follow my sketch, then I'll show you my sketch. But it's nice to give you an idea. Also, I didn't do my sketch to scale, so it was off. So if you want to be really precise, you can use those grid paper that is like, I think it's a 1/4 of an inch grids, and each 1/4 of an inch is equals to a foot. So you can calculate and then do your design, and that comes out much better to scale. But I didn't do that. I just wanted something quick just to give me ideas, and then I started freehanding all what you see here behind me. So I'll turn the camera around and we go over some details. So first of all, this is the whole mural, and I ended up also putting my logo on the top, Anna's Clay House, centered with the cabinets here where the mural is, and that's where I centered the text. So I just hand painted that with acrylic pen. That's what I use, and I'll show you what I use. And also I'll put in my description, I'll put the links for what I'm gonna tell you what I used, that it was really helpful for me, and I wish I had known these before I started, but once I found out, it just saved me a lot of time. So anyways, this is, you can see it. This was a real rough sketch, and this was supposed to be this whole wall. But as you can see, my scale is off, and I tried to put the cabinets here on the bottom left, but it was really off. And it gave me the idea though of what I wanted, something similar to this. So it does help to make a sketch. And I didn't have dark blue navy coloring pencil, so I put purple, but I wrote down that I wanted blue. And so it gives me an idea of colors that I wanted. And so here's the whole mural, and the rest is all just white. Used to be this gray paint here, which I'm gonna paint the rest also. So I wanted something brighter. I was really tired of the gray. So one thing that, if you live in the US, I bought all my paints, and the paints that I use for the wall, I bought it at Home Depot, and the brand name is Behr. So there is a regular paint that is, this one is actually satin, but I used for the base color, which was the white, I used the regular bare paint, and it was eggshell finish. So this right here is eggshell. And then I start buying these sample paints that cost like $6.60, something like that. So that's what I use for all the mural painting. So all my leaves and everything else that I drew in here, and then I painted with these. This one I had it here at home already. It's called Bear Marquee, and it's a little bit more expensive. I don't know if the sample one is more expensive or not, or it might be the same price. I already had this one at home. So what I found out is that the Marquee covers a lot better. So for areas that, let's say here I'm going from on the white, and then here I was going on the green or green gray color, it does show a little bit of the, where it divides. Even here you can see a little bit with 2 or 3 coats I used here, believe it or not. So you can still see a little bit, but when I used this one, it covered like in 1 coat. You could see the coverage is much better. So this is the one I would suggest for you to use for the painting, the actual mural painting, not for the base color, but for the painting. And like I said, don't quote me on this, but I think this might be the same price as the regular $6 and something cents. But what I found out just by myself, because I used to do what they call that, acrylic pour, where you pour different colors of acrylic paint, and I use this it's called Floetrol. They also have another brand, and I'll put that on my description for you to see where you can buy these. I bought this one at Michael's, and what this is an additive that slows down the drying time. So it gives you much better control when you're brushing to really drag, and it goes a long way. So as you know, the wall paint is kind of thick, but once you add this, then it made a huge difference. So I only had this idea because I was having such a hard time painting, and I think maybe before I got even halfway done, I thought about using this. It makes your life so much easier when painting with this. Now, the black pen that I use for this design, so here, I had already here at home, I had the Sharpie permanent paint, but it's oil-based, which is what I use for my pottery, for cuerda seca. It's a technique I use. So that's what I use here on the wall, and it's just an oil base. I didn't like it as much, but then I bought this one, which here, hold on, let me open this. So this is the name, black acrylic markers. So this set I bought from Amazon, and I'll put the link also. It was very nice because it comes with all these thicknesses. So it comes with five pens and all different sizes. So here it is. One is extra fine, fine tip, bold, wide, and jumbo. I didn't use the jumbo, but I believe I used all these other 4. And when you're painting with the black, some lines are thick and some are thin, and then you do these lines inside to create like a shadow effect. And for these, I use the real fine tip, and then on these ones, I use the medium, and then you kind of graduate from there. You go thinner and you go bold, and like you see here. And then also, remember, if you're doing a big wall, that's what I found out too. At first, my lines were too thin. So if I stood in the back of my garage, you couldn't really see. It was very hard to see the design. So I had to come back and made them a lot bolder, the lines. And you see how some are thick and some are thin. And that's why these different thicknesses come in handy. So, and I think that's it. So here's another tip. I just did it with a real mechanical pencil. This is a cheap one. I did my sketch on the wall. And you find out that when you're designing it, you have to then step back and see if you did it right, because when you're real close to the wall, it's kind of hard to see. But what I found is also when you're sketching, and if you make a mistake, it's a lot easier to have like a wet paper towel in hand so that you can just go over and erase it right away with the paper towel. But if you leave it for later, it becomes harder to come off with the paper towel, just with the lead pencil. And what I found is that it just comes off, as you can see here. Let me see here. I don't know if you can see a very fine line there. And it just erases using the eraser on the pencil. Oops. Anyways, guys, that's my tip I can give you. And hopefully I can inspire you to make something like this. It just brightens my day seeing this. And I just can't wait to work here, you know, doing my pottery in this area. It looks so inviting and cozy now that I also insulated the walls. And it just makes like a happy place for me. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my my progress, which I will post here on this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye. So this is the picture when they were insulating my whole garage, and the cost was $2,500. And they did a pretty good job. So my garage now stays pretty warm, when before it didn't. It just didn't hold the heat at all. So here I'm painting these leaves using my oil-based pen. And I didn't like it that much because you really had to go over in some areas, you know, 2 or 3 times. Because it would just show the wall behind that. So until I used the other acrylic pens that I really like those instead of the oil-based. Here I'm using a flat brush to paint this monstera leaf. Actually, I use flat brushes on all my designs, all different sizes. They ranged from close to a ½ inch to about 1 inch wide. And here, that's the ½ inch one that I'm using for these leaves. The blue paint was a hard one because it needed 3 coats to really cover everything. As you can see here, that's the first coat, and you still see the white wall behind it. So I must have gone about 3 times on these blue ones. So this is what I have so far. This is my progress. I am super happy with how my hibiscus turned out. I still have the other side to do, but this is the progress. Now here I'm just doing the final coat of these blue leaves. So I finally was able to get a good coverage on them. And here I'm using, for the second hibiscus, I'm using the new acrylic pens, acrylic black pens that I got from Amazon. And I will put the link in my description. And I ended up using the fine tip and also the medium in here. The other real thick ones, I used those for my text where I wrote on top for Anna's Clay House, my logo. I ended up using most of all of them except for the real thick one. So here I was finally done, and I'm just removing the plastic finally. That was a good feeling when you start cleaning up everything. And I still need to put all my shelving back. So this is the finished product. Yay, I'm done. So I debated a lot as I did this. like with any project, you know, this is something I've never done before. So I don't think it's too cluttered. It's going to have, you know, I'm gonna put back my shelves in there, and you can still see the designs and part of the designs in here, but you see most of the design on the top. And the colors are very relaxing, and I didn't want something too bright. And I do like this color, so I am going to paint the other walls as well. But this is the mural. Thanks for watching.